Dear listeners, before we delve into today's episode, we want to take a moment to address some important considerations. In this episode, we will explore themes that involve fire, loss, and trauma. While we strive to create an engaging and immersive story, we acknowledge that these topics can be emotionally challenging for some of our listeners. If at any point during this episode you find yourself feeling uncomfortable or triggered by the content, please know that your well-being is our utmost concern. You can always pause or skip through any parts that you find distressing, and we encourage you to prioritize your emotional health. In addition, we'd like to make a small correction. In our world, the mountain referred to as Mount Moon should actually be Mount Chimney. We appreciate your understanding regarding this oversight. Thank you for enjoying us on this podcast journey, and we value your support and want to ensure that your experience with us is respectful and enjoyable. Sincerely, your Game Master Chase. Oh, okay, this is going to sound really weird coming from one person to one other person. All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Pokemon Aftermath. And this week we have something special for y'all. We have our other character who plays Zarin. Blake is here with me. We're going to do a solo session since he wasn't able to... what's the word I'm looking for?
Play with us.
Sure. He wasn't able to play with us last time. So go ahead and introduce yourself real quick here, Blake.
Hi there, I am Blake. I play Zarin. I have moderate familiarity with Pokemon, but I've been enjoying it so far. I'm really liking the world that you've built, and I'm interested to see where everything goes.
Well, thanks. That means a lot. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started here. So, we start off at the door that you guys are at in Eterna Forest, that you have just noticed the energy linking between Zephyr and the lone intricate wood door. And you notice a little bit of that energy reach out and touch you as you see those burn scars that are all up and down your arms just start to be outlined in this fiery aura of red color. And as this happens, you start to get a massive headache, massive wave of nausea just comes over you and kind of knocks you on your ass as all of the other players at this point are up at the door looking at it and investigating it, and they come over to you, and Katrina is just like, Zarin, are you all right?
I would assume, given that I am probably having somewhat of a flashback in this moment due to everything, like the scars in particular being highlighted, is taking me right back to that event. So I feel like I may be a little frozen and lost for words. I'm not sure if I would be able to say much.
Okay, she's just gonna go, all right, you just stay right here, and I'm going to leave somebody with you while we go and take a look at this. We'll come right back for you. Just don't go anywhere.
Well, I still have Shark Face with me, right?
You do have Shark Face, yeah.
Okay, so I at least won't be alone, but, I mean, Pokemon-wise.
So, yeah, she's like, all right, so you have Shark Face here with you. Just don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back for you, and just call me on your Pokedex if you need anything, okay?
Shakily, kind of try to nod my head as I'm like,
Okay.
I'm like kind of holding my arms like I could just, out of panic, like I don't know what's going to happen.
He goes, okay, here's some water, and get better soon. As they kind of scurry off into the forest. Is there anything you want to do in this moment?
I'm probably going to crouch down and lean into Sharky for support to try and catch my breath and, get myself out of that headspace because I'm feeling kind of trapped back in that moment again.
Okay. So you go to look at Sharky, and you just see this massive red brilliant flame of an aura around him, and you see that it reach out to you, and now your whole body is engulfed in this white flame-like aura that you've never seen anything like this before. You've never seen this sort of energy coming off of a being before, and just the overwhelming power that you start to feel in your head, in your gut, and everything knocks you unconscious to blackness.
That's about right.
And as you regain consciousness, you wake up in your childhood bed. And so if you want to start replaying the fateful day,
okay,
what would be the first thing Zarin does when he wakes up? Little child Zarin.
True to my own nature, and something I figure my character would probably hold on to a little bit, at least as a kid. Not super ready to get up in the mornings, but for some reason that day, I'm just, slept really well, like really feeling good that day. And so I'm out of bed earlier than normal, and I'm strangely, like, happy. Not that I wouldn't normally be, just that for that day, for some reason, being up early, feeling so good, and feeling so excited for the day, I get up and I'm, putting on my favorite clothes, and I'm like, I really want to do something today. Like, yeah, I'm a kid, but like, this just feels like a really good day to go and do something. And given that I'm just so anxious to go and do, in my excitement, when I leave the house, I neglect to let anyone know.
Oh, okay. So little child Zarin exits the childhood home without the knowledge of your caretakers, and so you walk out and you see just this bustling town of Lavaridge. You see the hot springs down the road. You see the mountain of Mount Moons just towering over top the back of the city, and the way Lavaridge normally would be during the morning. It's nice, it's bustling, everyone's waking up and getting to work.
So yeah, I just I slip out of the house without anybody noticing, and as I exit I see the city like you said. So, as a kid with free reign, thinking that, I can do whatever I want. So the one thing that I think child Zarin would want to do is go and look at all the things in town that his parents are usually too busy to stop and look at. Not that it's very far, not that we don't spend time in town, just that when there's no one to tell me, hey, hurry up, we have to go do this, we have to go do that. Zarin, as a kid, really curious, really wants to go see all the things and all the stores and shops around town that he never gets to look at. And of course, being a small town, I'm sure people will recognize him and be friendly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to go towards the shopping center.
Yeah, absolutely. So you go towards the shopping center, you see the red roofed Pokemon Center, you see the blue roofed Pokemart, you also see quite a few other smaller shops. You see like an herb shop, you see a local blacksmith, you see the town's gym leader is there, which is Mayor Osgood. Who else? You see a bakery. And that's about what you see. It's like you said, a small town, so.
Okay. Probably start with waving at the mayor, because, as a kid, anyone who everyone knows is basically famous in my mind, so I'm seeing a celebrity right now, and I'm just like, hey, Mayor Osgood, not really stopping to talk, because old people are boring. I'm still 7 after all. But
he waves back. He's like, oh, hey there, Zarin, how you... Yep, and there he goes.
So after that, I run past to the bread shop, the bakery.
Okay.
Because, of course, nothing better in the morning than food that I definitely don't have money for, but I'm still going to go look at and smell because it's good food.
So you're gonna walk into the bakery, and there's just this array of glass case of all this fresh baked fuck. These fresh baked goods that are out, and you see good old Mrs. Higgins, who is at the counter. She has a nice warm smile, this nice old lady. She's like, "Oh, hey, Zarin, how you doing? You doing all right?"
So I'm doing great, Miss Higgins. I just really wanted to run around town today, and everything in here just smells so good. I kind of wandered in here without thinking about it, but my parents aren't with me, so I don't really have money for anything. But these all look so good.
Oh, don't you worry about that. And she hands you this beautiful loaf of bread. It looks almost like reddish. It has like a reddish hue with a couple of kind of sprigs of green leaves kind of spread throughout. She goes, "Here, take this tomato basil bread. Go ahead and bring it home to your parents now, all right?"
I said, "Okay, thanks, Miss Higgins."
"No problem, sweetie."
I guess I run out with the bread because, free food is, you don't want to stick around and see if they change.
So true.
So as I leave, I look at the bread and I look back towards my house and I'm like, well, bread stays good for a while. I'm sure I can walk around with this for a while before I have to go home. So instead of heading straight home, I think I'm going to head to the herb shop because even though I don't really care about herbs, I just really want to go and see everyone. I want to go around town and explore, and maybe there's something cool there I've just never noticed. So I'm going to run to the herb shop and maybe sneak a few bites of the bread while I wander around and pretend to be interested in plants and herbs because I, as a 7-year-old, have no idea what I'm looking at.
Okay. Yeah, so you go to the herb shop of Lavaridge Town, where you see a familiar younger woman named Evelyn. And you see this herb shop. The building itself is quite small, but in the back you see this large greenhouse just full of different plants that are growing. You see Pokémon flittering about, and she goes, "Oh, hello, Zarin. What can I do here for you today?"
I say, "Oh, nothing, Miss Evelyn. I'm just looking around today. I got to take this bread to my parents, but I wanted to stop by and look at all the cool plants you have."
"Oh, thank you. How is your mother doing? I know she wasn't feeling too well last time I saw her."
I think she's doing better. She's up and around a little more now. She's still back at the house today, though. I'll tell her you asked, though.
"Yeah, absolutely. Here, let me get you something for her real quick." And she hands you this kind of mash. It almost looks like pesto, but it's in like a little jar. She goes, "Here, give this to her and tell her to put it right where she's not feeling well, and it'll help her right up."
"All right, thanks, Miss Evelyn." And I take you said it was like a jar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I take the jar and I run out because I can only pretend to like plants for so long. I have no idea what I'm seeing.
So you run out of the herb shop and you look around and you see a new face in town. You do know who it is. He's been there for a little bit. It is Professor Liam. He is walking down, and you've had a couple interactions with him, and he always has like super cool stories from different regions, different areas, and he's just kind of walking into the Pokemon Center.
Okay, I will run after him because there's nothing more exciting to a child than crazy stories from the cool adults. So I'm going to run at the professor, and of course shouting after him like, "Professor, Professor," and see if I can get his attention before he runs in.
"Oh, hey there, Liam. How are you doing here?"
I'm good. Are you just coming back from a new place again?
I am. I'm coming back from Mount Moon. I was up in there, and I'm about to go into the hot springs for a nice soak after a long hike.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Isn't that the place with all those little pink Pokemon?
It is, yeah. The Whisper there are pretty loud, but they're good sorts.
That's so cool. Do you have any cool stories from this one?
Of course.
You always have cool things to tell me.
So, he kind of beckons to you. Listen here. So, I came across this big Pokemon. It was blue and yellow, and it looked like a big speaker. And I was walking around, and I didn't see it. And I step on its toes by accident, and all of a sudden, it just releases this big boom of sound that causes the whole mountain to shake. And then all of a sudden, I see rocks come straight towards me as I'm running, and then I release my Dragonair and have it shoot ice at the mountain and have it stop the rock slide in its path.
Oh, wow, that's so crazy. How big was it? You said it was like a speaker?
Oh, I think it was probably 2 times the size of me.
That's so crazy. Did you try to catch it?
I did, but sadly, it didn't want to come with me.
Ah, that's too bad. If you'd have caught it, I'd have had you show me. I'll have to go there one day so I can see it, and if I catch it, I'll bring it back to you.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, well, I still have to run around a little bit more. I have some stuff to take to my parents. I guess I'll see you again next time, all right?
Sounds good. See you later, kiddo.
Bye, Professor.
So at this moment, can you roll a perception check for me?
Yes. All right. Let's see here. Not too terrible, but I rolled an 8 and perception special defense, so that would be +2, so an even 10.
Okay. So you don't see it directly, but you see someone just kind of point off in the distance near Mount Moon, and you look over and you see, a plume of smoke coming from like the top of Mount Moon. Not something entirely out of the ordinary, as Mount Moon is an active volcano, but just something that doesn't happen too often.
Okay. For now, I'll keep my eye on it, but since Professor Liam mentioned the hot springs, I figure I will run this bread to my house, but instead of going in, I'm going to throw it in my mailbox so I can grab it when I get back, because in my mind, mailboxes are safe places for food because it's a safe place for letters. Why not?
Okay.
So I'm going to run by the house and throw the bread and the medicine in the mailbox. And in my mind, that's just, perfect place to come back and get it. It's like a locker. So I just set it in there, and I'm like, all right, I want to go see, because I'm not, as a kid, you don't get taken to the hot springs too often. And yeah, it's the middle of the day, so it'll be quiet. So I figure I can go in there and at least poke around. So I'm going to run to the hot springs and hope that nobody notices me.
Okay. So you go and you run in the hot springs, and you see your childhood enemy. You see Aiden. He's a slightly older boy, and he's always bragging about his super strong Pokemon team. And he's just he's sitting there playing in the hot spring.
in my head, in the back of my head, I'm like, ugh, Aiden. He's always talking about his Pokemon, but he's too little to have that cool of a team. Of course, me having none, so me have no Pokemon. I'm just gonna dog him for anything he has. So you said he's playing in the springs?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna see. Does he notice me when I come in?
Do I have dice near me?
I don't know.
I guess not.
Okay. I guess, did you have the roller in the app in the Discord, right?
Yeah, but I don't want to type it out, so...
That's fair.
No, he doesn't notice
All
it.
Right, okay. All right. Then I'm going to see if I can't sneak around to one of the other springs, kind of out of sight of him, so that I don't have to deal with him, because he's not the most bold child.
Okay. Roll another perception check.
Oh, no. Okay. Ignoring an active volcano explosion is what's happening right now. A little bit worse. I did 7, so that'd be a 9 this time.
Okay. So you go and sneak into another hot spring, and before you can get anywhere, you just hear this high-pitched screaming, and you realize you walked into the wrong hot spring.
Oh, no. In my defense, I have been in here very rarely, so I assume as people are throwing things at me, I'm going to turn and look it and hope I don't slip and fall because of water.
Oh yeah, you managed to get out of there. Maybe like you get like a towel or a shoe to the head or something, but
Bat slippers. All right, yeah. So
Hold on to your hats, trainers, because there's more excitement coming your way. We hope you're enjoying the captivating tales of our players as they navigate their paths through Sinnoh. In case you haven't heard, you can also connect with Pokemon Aftermath on our social media platforms. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for exciting updates, behind-the-scenes glimpses, and more. Plus, don't forget to join us on our vibrant community Discord server, link in the episode's description below. Our Discord server is the ultimate spot to share your thoughts, theories about the show, and interact with fellow fans and the cast. It's where the magic happens, and we'd love to see you there. Have something to share? Whether it's thoughts on the story or some amazing fan art, we're all ears. Reach out to us at PokemonAftermathPod@gmail.com and let your voice be heard. Oh, and here's something exciting. Did you know that on Spotify you can actively engage with the show? Take part in our interactive polls and Q&A questions featured in every episode. Your insights matter, so make sure to join the conversation. Now thank you, trainers, for being a part of our Pokemon Aftermath journey. Get ready to dive back into the action as we return to the unfolding adventures of our players.
it out of the hot springs.
And as you come back out, you pass by the one with Aiden in it, and you see Aiden turning like bright red, and you see the water of the hot spring start boiling as Aiden scrambles out of the hot spring.
I mean, inherently, I try to be helpful, but it is my childhood rival. Do I try and help him out of the water? I think I'll hesitate, but I'll reach out and try to help pull him out.
Okay. Roll a strength check for me at disadvantage.
Okay, so 2 dice.
I guess that's right. Athletics.
Okay, actually not bad. I got a 17 and a 14, so taking the 14, athletics is the running man, so a +2.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, not bad. So yeah, you managed to pull Aiden, you grab his hand, and you manage to lift him just over the sides of the hot spring as you see his like bottom half is just like covered in like almost like a sunburn, but he's just scalded from like the chest down.
Yikes. Panicking a little bit. I don't really know what to do, so I guess I'm gonna run to the front counter. Is he able to? I'm assuming he's just crawling because he's hurting so much. Because that was like instant boiling.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna tell him, like, wait here, don't move, and I'm gonna run to the front counter to tell them like something happened. The water, it's too hot.
Yeah. So you run to the front counter, which actually is in the Pokemon Center.
Okay.
And you run to the front counter, and you see already Nurse Joy is like frantically running about.
So they're not even listening to me then.
Yeah, no, they're just like, oh, small child, get out of my way. I'm busy. I'm doing stuff.
Okay. So after I assume try a little bit to get their attention, but if they're still actively ignoring me, next thought, because she just helped me, the herb shop, and see if I can get Evelyn's attention to see if she can help Aiden with his boiled body.
Okay. So you run back to the herb shop, and Evelyn's like, oh, Zarin, I wasn't expecting to see you again today.
I barely process what she says. I'm like, Evelyn, you've got to help. Aiden was in the hot spring, and everything started boiling. His whole body is red. I don't know what to do.
She just sees this look of like hair come on her face. She goes, oh, okay. Give me just a second to grab some of my things, and I'll be right there. And she goes to the back, and she just grabs this like armful of stuff and just follows you out.
Okay. I book it back to the hot springs and kind of like rush in past everyone who is still panicking and just like trying to get Evelyn along behind me as we run back in to where Aiden is.
Okay. And so you see Aiden is there just, crying out in pain as Evelyn just starts putting this these mashed leaves all on his bottom half of his skin and these soothing herbs out. And as you see, he does kind of calm down a little bit. And you see Evelyn just look up to you and says, so what did you say caused this?
I'm pointing at the water. I'm like, the water, it started boiling out of nowhere.
Oh, water was boiling. And she has this like second of thought, and she's like, okay, I will I'll go and bring it to the attention of the authorities here. Why don't you go on and go home?
I mean, mutter a response, I'm sure, but just in confusion and terror, I kind of like look at Aiden like, we're not cool, but I helped, so maybe in the future when you're being kind of a jerk, you'll think about that, but I really hope you're okay. All of that in a look, right? Just a second glance can communicate all that. So I give him kind of, a look of pity and also contempt, and then I rush out and I run back to the house, and, just given everything going on, because the mountain is smoking, like, Aiden just got scorched, and, I'm just... The only thing, of course, because I'm a kid, the only thing I can think of is I can't forget the bread. I can't forget the bread. The bread is in the mailbox. I have to get the bread.
That's so me, though.
Like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't know what happened. This was the best day ever, and now it's the worst day ever. And it's only downhill from here.
So you grab the bread from the mailbox, and you grab the herbs from the mailbox, and you go inside just in time to see Sharkface, who is now not Sharkface at the moment. You see Growlithe just stretch in his bed as he's just starting to wake up, and just kind of looks over to you and kind of prances on over to you and starts like kind of nuzzling your legs and just saying good morning.
So this is Sharkface at my age, like this isn't just before he was called Sharkface.
Yes, this is.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so I don't know, I'm still kind of shaken, so I like, I'm like, hey Growly, hold on, I've got to put this bread up, and I like rush to the kitchen and I set it on the counter and I turn to look for, see if he's still there waiting.
Oh yeah, he just kind of follows you.
Okay. I throw the bread and the medicine on the table, and I squat down and I kind of hug him a little because I'm still shaken up. I'm just like trying to catch my breath still from both being traumatized and running home. And I just hold him for a minute while I try to, relax. And after a minute, I guess I'll look and see if my parents are nearby.
Yeah, so you can look, and you go and you look around. And your parents are just starting to kind of wake up and get situated for the day. Yeah, they're around.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll go and let my mom know that I brought bread from town. Realizing, of course, as I tell her that I should not have been in town alone in the first place. But I kind of try and rush past that by saying like, oh yeah, and Miss Evelyn gave you some medicine. She said if you put it where you're hurting, it should help things get better.
You go to your mom, and you tell her about Miss Evelyn and how she gave her this herbal concoction. She goes, oh, thank you, sweetie. I'm so glad that you went out and you got this for me.
Of course, Mom. I knew you hadn't been feeling good, so I thought maybe she could do something to help. Definitely not glossing over my clandestine attempt to leave the house. And also not acknowledging the whole traumatic, like, my childhood rival just got boiled.
And she goes, oh, well, I very much appreciate it. So you also went to the bakery, I see.
Yeah, I, it just smelled really good, and since I was already out, I thought it'd be okay if I just stopped by, and Miss Higgins was being really nice, and she said, to bring this home.
Well, what a sweet, sweet lady. Alrighty, and anything else interesting happened this morning, or are we ready to get started with our day here?
This feels like a trap. I'm like, well, I mean, there was some smoke on the mountain, and the hot springs got pretty hot. I think Aiden might be hurt. But oh, no. Miss Evelyn went to help him, so I think he'll be okay. She can probably help him.
Yeah, Miss Evelyn's great. She'll do fine helping him out. I'm very proud of you for helping him and not, letting him sit there like I know some people would.
My mom's got beef with somebody who's really callous, apparently. It's like, of course, you and Dad taught me to always help when I can. So, was there anything we were supposed to do today?
Not much, just the usual. So what would be something that your family would normally do?
Well, besides trips into town, I would say, since we have a Growlithe, we of course have to feed him, and then, eat breakfast, although I've been snacking on bread, so I'll probably be less hungry. Yeah, so I would say feeding Growlithe and, having breakfast, just sitting around with each other and starting our morning together as a family.
Okay. Yeah, so you feed Growlithe and you go out to the back porch to have dinner together as you just see this pillar of smoke has turned into a raging fire coming down the mountainside, just cool, like super, super quickly, as you start hearing screams and yells coming from within the town that are just, yelling for people to get out, get out.
Cool. I don't think I'm old enough to manage this situation, so I look to my parents for guidance.
They kind of look to each other, and you're almost, okay, sweetie, so grab Growlithe and get out quickly. Get out of the house. We're gonna grab a couple things and we'll be right out there with you.
Okay, so I grab Growlithe, and of course I always leave my house through the front door, so I go outside the front door with Growlithe, and I turn and look back at my house, just waiting for my parents to come out.
Okay. So you notice that the lights are on, and you see the shadows kind of as them grabbing a couple things. And as you see the fire just start spreading towards your house, and you see the back porch is now on fire.
Oof.
As they manage to get out the door just as your house erupts into flames. And they go, all right, we need to get down to the desert because there will be less space for them to burn.
Okay, so we're headed down the mountain.
Yes. And so they kind of start moving you along with the rest of town. You guys all kind of gather up and start going east down towards the mountain as you see the fire has completely encircled the town. And as the fire starts closing in, you see, fuck was his name. You see Professor Liam.
Okay.
And he throws out that Dragonair that he was talking about. Mm-hmm. He goes, all right, Dragonair, use Ice Beam. And it starts kind of trying to freeze over this circle of fire. And as the fire does start to freeze, you see it almost instantly reverts back into fire as the ice just melts and starts leaping from rooftop to rooftop. And you look over to the springs, and the springs are completely evaporated. There is no water left in the springs. And as you're seeing these buildings come down around you, you start hearing the screams of other people. And you see your father take out this blue Pokeball and release it. And you see this massive, massive whale come out that you know as a Wailord. He tells you, all right, son, the second that Wailord here uses his move, I need you to run in that direction. Do you understand me?
I, breathing heavily, obviously. I'm like, yes, sir.
Okay. Wailord, use Water Spout. As Wailord, out of his blowhole, just erupts this stream of water going east out towards the fire. And you see just this thin line of fire part where this water spout went.
I am going to book it, clinging tightly to Growlithe.
Okay, so you start booking it, and both your parents are slightly behind you as you're running through this fire as it starts to get tighter and tighter and tighter. Before long, you start feeling fire on your arms, and you start feeling your clothes burning away. And as you just manage to make it out the other side, you turn around and you see the wall of fire close in on your parents and the rest of the town as you just hear screaming and the smell of burning flesh
just reeks into your nostrils.
I'm going to cry.
And as you start to cry, you start to feel cooled down, and you actually start to get cold, and you start shivering. And as you kind of pass out from, the trauma of what you just saw, and as you kind of feel yourself tumbling down the mountain, you wake up back in the forest, and you see just this blue kind of blob just kind of sitting on your face with this kind of shell of ice. And it's just kind of like, it has two little nubs for mouth, and it's just kind of like nubbing on your nose.
Well, that's certainly odd.
Let me send you a picture here real quick.
Oh, that's so cute. Since when I passed out, I wasn't sure exactly where everyone was. I know we were dealing with the door. I'm trying to play it cool, but I'm obviously like sweating and like heart going a million miles a minute. But I just kind of like ironically freeze and stare at it, and I'm just like, hi. Of course it makes cute noises too. Are any of the others around, or is it just me and this strange snowball?
It's you and the snowball and shark face, and as you're sitting there wondering what the hell this thing is that's sitting on you, your scars are burning.
Ooh.
Like you feel like they're burning.
Okay.
And you slowly feel the heat start to dissipate. And as you kind of sit up, you move this thing off of your face and you set it on your lap. And you kind of look at the scars on your hands. And you put your palm face up and you see a small flame come up in the palm of your hand.
That's certainly new.
And then you look at the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And you see this snowball start to appear in your other hand.
That's newer. I hold the fire one kind of away from the creature in my lap because I don't want it to burn.
Okay.
I try to flex my hands and see if this is something that like I'm in any sort of charge of, or if it's a phenomenon outside of my control.
Roll just a straight special attack roll.
Okay. Ah, a 3. So with my special attack, that's a 7 because it's a +4.
So you kind of like stretch out your hand and kind of like put forth some energy into which one are you putting energy into?
Just out of sheer curiosity because of what just happened. I'm gonna try the right hand because, like in my mind, maybe this is just some sort of hallucination because of the flashback.
So you kind of stress out the hand in which your fire is burning, and it starts spreading up your arm, and then it spreads to your body as it doesn't feel hot.
Out of panic, I think I'll still try and put it out instinctually using the ice in my other hand, just because I don't know, but also I'm probably going to try and roll out from under I'm just going to keep calling it a snowball, in my lap. Because I don't know, I don't want to hurt it. I just it seems perfectly friendly. So I'm going to roll out from under it and try to use the snowball that's manifesting in my left hand to try and stop the fire from spreading.
Yeah, so you roll out from underneath this Pokemon as you try to put energy into your other hand, as you see now your left arm is starting to freeze solid.
Oh.
As it spreads to the other half of your body. And as you are, half frozen and half burning, this just energy just shoots out from you as you see this flame-like aura come from your right side of your body, and then you see this new ice shard blue looking aura coming from your left side as it slowly dissipates.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna look to Sharky and see how he's reacting to this, because this is entirely outside of my wheelhouse.
Sharky is just flat out staring at you. Like, he's just dumbfounded.
Yeah, with Sharky just staring at me, I'm just kind of like, yeah, me too, buddy. I don't know what's going on. I try to relax and like just unclench my hands and just. So in my head, I'm frozen solid. Like half of me is frozen, but I can't move. So
Yeah. So you just kind of relax as this flame kind of peters out and the ice slowly melts. It melts, but it's not wet. It doesn't turn into water. It just kind of just starts to disappear as this little snow creature just looks at you and is like, it just kind of tilts its head a little bit.
The irony of the ice creature and the fire creature while I manifest both. I'm gonna reach out and see if it's okay. I assume it didn't get burned, or it would be making more noise than that.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Okay.
Just a little surprised.
Yeah. Just kind of talking to myself. I'm like, what are you doing out here, buddy? You don't look like you belong in this forest at all.
As it kind of looks back at the door that you see start to slowly close until it's completely shut.
I hesitantly turn away from the door because I've had enough haunted houses already this lifetime. I look back at it and ask it, like, are you here for me? Slowly, I take out a Pokeball and I kind of like gesture towards it and like, do you want to come with?
It just kind of like jumps up like a little jumping bean and just kind of smacks its head on the Pokeball as it kind of dematerializes into the Pokeball, and it just goes ding. Snom has been added to your Pokedex.
Cute. And I, kind of holding the Pokeball, talking to it. I'm like, all right, Snowball, you're coming with me then. I'll do my best to take good care of you. And, I'm kind of still like side-eyeing my arms, making sure they don't just burst into flames again, or ice.
Yeah. And that will be where we'll leave it for tonight.
Awesome.
And there you have it, fellow trainers. We want to extend a heartfelt thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through Sinnoh. Your support and enthusiasm mean the world to us. Remember, you can stay connected with Pokemon Aftermath on our social media platforms. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for exciting updates, behind-the-scenes glimpses, and more. Follow the links in the episode's description below. Plus, join us on our vibrant community Discord server, link also provided in the episode's description. In our Discord server, you can share your wildest theories about the podcast, interact with fellow fans and the cast, and discuss your favorite moments from the show. It's a perfect place to dive deeper into the world of Pokemon Aftermath and become a part of our ever-growing community. If you have any thoughts, feedback, or even some amazing fan art to share, we'd love to hear from you. Drop us an email at PokemonAftermathPod@gmail.com. Your input truly makes this journey even more special. And don't forget, on Spotify, you can engage with the show directly through our interactive polls and Q&A questions featured in every episode. Your opinions matter, so join the conversation and be a part of the adventure. Now, once again, thank you for being part of the Pokemon Aftermath community. Stay tuned for more thrilling episodes and captivating stories that await us on the road ahead.